Welcome to Dan's Learning Curve, where hindsight is 2015. Welcome back to Dan's Learning Curve. What will we find underneath this windage tray? Will we find bearings that are wiped out? My brother said he's experiencing low oil pressure under when it was idling and things like that. So let's find out. I'm going to take this windage tray off, oil pickup tube off, windage tray, and then we'll take a cap off, a rod cap off, and I'll run to town and get some plastic gauge, and we'll see what happens. Alright, thanks for following along. I'll bring you back. Okay, we got the windage tray off and the girdle off. And now let's see what's under rod number, I don't know if it's probably rod number 3. I don't know which way it's probably rod number 2. I don't know which way they run it. Okay, and drop it. What you get for using your left hand. Let's see here. And the bearing dropped out. The shell dropped out, so there, I found it. I think I'm just going to put new bearings in here since I've got it down this far. I thought it'd look a lot worse. So there's some wear in there. So I think everything's going to get, I don't know if I'm going to be able to replace the rear main bearing without pulling the motor. I don't think I want to pull the motor, but if I replace 1, 2, 3, 4 main bearings and four rods, I think that'll tighten it up, and then put a new oil pump in here. That should keep us running here, I think. Alright, so yeah, I was expecting major scourge in this crankshaft and major copper showing in here, but it isn't. But these shells do sit loose in their cap. As you see, when it dropped it just fell out. So I will order new rods and new main bearings, new rod bearings, new main bearings, and I probably will look at the rings on this thing too, since I've cut the head off, and it's going to be one more step just to pop those pistons out, give it a quick hone, and clean up the cylinder and put them back in. So I'm not that far away. So alright, I'll bring you back. Alright, well, I showed you the bottom bearing in the cap, but I didn't think about taking out the top bearing. And that is where the wear is, folks. Right there, you can see copper. So, looks like it's just been a little long on over mileage for oil change. So, yep, definitely new bearings. The journal looks fine. I'm sure it could be turned and all that good stuff, but we're not going that deep. So, you guys might enjoy this. We'll just, hey, muffler bearing. Is this supposed to look this way? See if I can get this phone to focus. See, it looks like, what did the brake hose eat? I don't know. I think we better think about replacing brake hoses on this little buggy. Alright. I don't know how long that had left, but man, that's just relying on the outside rubber to hold the brake fluid in. Never seen one like that before. Alright. So, yep. Getting oil pump and if I can get that rear main out, it will happen, but if I can't, it's not going to happen. So, alright, I will bring you back when I know more. Alright, when I left you last, I was underneath the car, and I had pulled the rod cap off, and we looked at the bearing in the cap. It looked pretty good, but then we looked in the bearing that's in the rod, and that showed some wear. So it's definitely getting bearings. Now I pulled the piston out, and to my recollection, the rod I'm not even going to look it up right now, but I think that's a little wider than 4 thousandths on a. I don't think they're supposed to be any wider than 12, and that's I haven't even measured it, but I know that's wider than 12, so it's getting new rings too. So now I just did something here that made me a little bit concerned. I think that's going to create some piston slap. I think so. So let's see what this one feels like in the bore. Skirt feels fine. Feels fine. I think we're okay. I don't know. It's quite a bit of movement on the top. Skirts feels fine, but the top of the piston and the bore. I don't know. Where do you stop, right? Where do you stop? I think that skirt's fine, so I don't know, what do you think? Hodgepodge Garage, you're the only ones responding to my videos, so have you done much with piston work before and seen skirts tight, but but the top have some movement in it? I know it's going to cause piston slap. So, anyone else want to weigh in on that? I know I had 10 views on my last video so far, so maybe someone can weigh in on that one for me. I will do some searching. Where do you stop? I don't know. Skirts feel fine, but definitely getting rings. So, alright. Appreciate you following along. Going to order rings, rod bearings, main bearings. Get them cheap through Rock Auto. Hey guys, if you order things through Rock Auto, be sure to use their 5% discount. It at least covers the tax. Just search on the internet, Rock Auto 5%. Usually you find them on car forums and stuff like that, and the guys have a separate thread dedicated to that. In fact, I get it emailed to me from Rock Auto. I've been buying parts of them for years, so so we're definitely going to go, what did I say, rod bearings, main bearings, rings, oil pump. I know it's going to add up a little bit, but this thing's gonna go low on oil pressure idle every time if we don't do that. So appreciate you following along. I'll bring you back. This might be the end of this video, so the tear down and head's definitely going to the shop to get redone. I have to get the valve seals in here before I bring that, so I can get valve seals to them, and yeah, we'll get this little engine tightened up. Alright, talk to you later.